Hello folks, and welcome to this video. It's another in a sequence of uploads to YouTube in which I'm introducing the manager panels that we built for the IXEG733 and in this one I'm just going to talk about installation. There are a few changes that Sim Innovations has made to the user interface on this Air Manager beta, and I suspect those are going to work their way into the standard Air Manager release, so it may well be that this video is relevant to other aircraft that we've uploaded previously. So you can obtain these panels from our website or forum. It's XP-ClassicJets.freeforums.net. You can possibly just see the web address there in the top there. Payment by PayPal. Once I've received your payment, and I will check it if the email address that you've used, that's been used for the PayPal payment, is different to the email address that you're emailing me from, then I may well check it, because there are scammers out there and it's crazy, even in this small world of flight sim, that people are trying to pull tricks all the time. It's just the world's nuts. I don't know where honest people have gone. Anyway, that's a by the by. So if you check everything out on the website, it'll give you the software that you need to have installed, which versions of the IXEG, which versions of Air Manager, it's for X-Plane 12, etc., all those kind of things. There's also a test instrument that you can download, which will display the EFIS instruments, the captain's EFIS instruments, and my recommendation is that you load that up and you just run it across your cockpit setup on every monitor, and that way then you'll know that this will work. Okay, so after I've received your payment, I will send you an email. That email will contain a link to a Dropbox folder, which will contain various subfolders, as you can see here, that will include all of the files that make up the instruments and the panels. And these files are in what's called a .sif.siff format, which is Sim Innovations' proprietary format for their instruments and panels. Download all the files and pop them into a temporary folder on your desktop or on a hard drive or wherever you want to put it. What I've got here is all the files just split into their different the different elements of the cockpit. So these are all the files that make up the center main instrument panel. So now let's jump into Air Manager, and this is beta 31, which is what I'd recommend as the earliest version that you use for these IXEG panels. Slight changes, as I said, to the user interface. If you go into the Create Edit tab up in the top left hand corner here, and I'll just close those down or reduce those down, this is where you import those files into Air Manager. So click on the import button, it'll open up. You can then select the source of the files that you want to import, select a file, click on open, import SIF file. It asks you, it says it already exists, do you want to replace it? And there you go, successfully imported. Now unfortunately you can only import, from what I can see, you can only import one SIF file at a time. What I've done here is I have split every instrument and all the panels into separate SIF files. So there's going to be a lot of individual files for you to import, and I apologize for that. It is possible to export multiple instruments into one SIF file, and then when you open that up you can import say 20 or 30 files in one go, which is a lot faster. But the reason I've done it this way is this is a brand new release. There are going to be changes and tweaks and things that need to be edited in these files that users pick up and report back to me, or that I find myself. And what I didn't want to do was just for, say, a simple change like let's say lining up the knobster active circles on a dial, let's say just tweaking those so that they're fully aligned. What I didn't want to do was do that, export out an updated CIF file, but then at the same time have to do everything for a full panel. That would just be a pain in the neck. But I hope that in a month or 2 months after this initial release that things will have settled down, that it'll be a mature enough product that I can then just package everything up so that it's a lot easier for anybody who's wanting to install this, or when the next version comes out and everything's updated, you can then just do it a lot faster. So apologies for now, but I think it's a matter of practicality. So that's how you import them, and you'll then wind up with everything installed into Air Manager. The moment I've got a filter set, let me take that out. That's all the IXEG files and the IXEG panels. Like I say, you can filter it, so if you just wanted altimeters to show, there we go, there's anything that's got the word altimeter in the instrument title. Create and edit is exactly what it suggests. You can create new instruments or you can edit them, and you can of course just run your instruments from here and test them. Now, you used to be able to quite happily run all of your panels from here as well, and to an extent it works, but I think depending on the structure of your panels, they won't run here fully. So in order to run panels in your simulator, what you have to do is run them from the Home tab. And you'll see here I've got all the panels set up already, but I just need to show you, or I will show you, how to set up your panels now in this home page so you can run them in your simulator. So let me take the captain panel, the EFIS captain panel. What I'll do, I'll just remove that first. You can right click or click up here. I'll just remove it. Do you want to remove it? Yes, I do. There it is. It's removed. Let's say that I don't have any panels installed and I want to install them, and I want to install the captain's EFIS panel. Come up to here, I want to click on new panel, add a new panel. Click on that. It'll bring up a list of everything that Air Manager has access to, and those include all of the payware and freeware panels from the Air Manager site. I wish there was a way of just getting rid of that, because I don't want to see panels for a Cirrus Vision SF50. I'm sure it's great, I'm sure they're wonderful, but that's not my kind of aeroplane. But you can filter through the bar at the top. All of my panels have IXEG in the name, so just click on that, and for now what it basically does is gives you then a list of all the panels that I've created that are part of this package. Of course, if you create your own custom panel, and from experience it's shown that most users do that, and they create panels to fit their own cockpit setup, how their screens are laid out, their screen formats. They'll modify panels so that different instruments are showing to suit their own preferences. If you want to do that, absolutely great, and then of course you'll have one of your custom panels showing up in this list as well. And my advice is just name it IXEG in there, so that it's easy then to find panels for your specific aircraft. So this that I'm showing you now, this procedure that I'm showing you now, applies both to panels that come with my package, but also will apply to your own panels. I want the captain's EFIS, so IXEG captain's EFIS, there we go, just highlight that. I can double click on that. I'm going to leave this unchanged because it's a full screen display, 2560 by 1440 on my monitor display 1. Highlight that, just add, and hey presto, there we go, EFIS captain panel. And now to run that panel, I just click on the light bulb and up it comes. There's the panel, everything working. So just close that down. If you want to order everything, You just go on Control and then use the arrows on your keypad, and you can just move it up. So let's put it up so I have it in order here. There we go. You can order however you like. Now, if you are making custom panels, what you will find is that if you have a panel set up here on this Home tab, if you edit that panel in the Create and Edit, either by adding instruments or by changing elements of those instruments, if you then go into your Home tab and run that panel, it will not reflect those changes. It's one of the pains in the neck of this system at the moment, but what you have to do is every time you edit a panel, you need to reinstall it here in the Home tab. And my recommendation is delete what exists and just reinstall as I've just shown you there. Do it every single time, because it seems sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, and Sod's Law says that if it doesn't work, you will find out at the worst moment possible in the sim. So that's my advice. Well, there we go. That's a very quick overview. Actually, the one final thing I'll say, I did talk about the sizes there. If I click on Glare Shield, and let's open up the non-EFIS Glare Shield, you'll see there that it's the way I have it set up is not full screen, and that way I can move it around, and I can, for example, place it on the bottom of a monitor where I've got the external view showing. So it's just one of those handy ways of being able to customize your cockpit setup. If you look here in the side window, you'll see that it's showing custom display under window preferences and a window size of 2560 wide, which is full screen, but only 350 pixels high. If I left it as display 1 2560 by 1440, what you'd have is a totally black screen, and the elements of the mode control panel, etc., would all be just running across the middle of the screen. So you may have to, if you're doing your own custom panels, you may have to play a bit with the custom display. On mine, leave it as display 1 at full screen, except for these two glare shields, the EFIS and the non-EFIS, which are both 2560 by 350. And then the other thing that you may want to consider, if you have a knobster, I have one knobster here, it's knobster A, is you'll need to enable that knobster for each individual panel, and you can do that. You'll see on the tab here it says knobster disabled. Click there, select knobster A, and now when I open up this this panel and I click on, say, the course, now my knobster is enabled, and I have the course button set up so that the outer one does steps of 10, the inner one does steps of 1. It's not prototypical, but it's a hell of a lot faster, and given the sensitivity of Air Manager and X-Plane 12, it works an awful lot better. Well, there we go, that's it. I hope that's given you everything you need to know on how to install these panels, and a few little tips in there as well if you're making custom panels. As I say, the key thing in this beta now is that you access your panels to use them through the Home tab, and that every time you edit a panel or change something in a panel, you have to essentially reload it, reinstall it into this home page. Otherwise you may not see those changes coming up when you try and use the panel. That's it. Thank you very much. The other video that I've uploaded so far in this sequence includes an overview of the panels themselves and how you use them, and some of the little quirks with panel scrolling, etc. And then I'm going to upload a third video which will include details of how the non-EFIS panel specifically works, and in particular how LNAV is handled. That's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.